This tutorial is going to be on an app called Geektool, which is a free app available from the App Store. Geektool allows you to display information on your desktop without having lots of windows open and making your desktop cluttered. So it's really quite handy. So let's open it up. The Geektool icon looks like this. This is the default one. And as you can see, the interface is quite simple. So let's have a look at these three tick boxes. Enable just means allow the geeklets to be displayed. Automatically launch and login, as the name suggests, means open it to login. And show menu bar gives you this little drop down menu which gives you groups, refresh, which just refreshes all geeklets, open preferences, which is this, and quit the Geektool app. So what are groups then? Groups are a selection of geeklets that allow you to display information. So if you've got some geeklets that show all the same information, like I have default group, which just displays the information that I want the most, the date, the time, and the weather. So you can make a new group by just clicking this plus icon. So if I make one called YouTube, that's made the group. So let's start with the first command. This command is for the time. This sheet with all the code I'm going to put up to be available for download, so don't worry, you can have all the code. So just copy it. And now what we do, now that I've got that code, is we want a shell. This is a basic like place where you want your code to go. So in command, this is where you put your code. The three dots there mean just open a bigger screen. So if I paste the code there, that gives us the date, and I save the script. Now the time is there, as you can see, but it's very small and it's in a font that doesn't really show up. So if I click here to set font, you can choose any of the fonts that are available. So I like to have marker felt, as it's a bit more rustic and you need it quite big for you to see. And black isn't a very good colour if you've got a background like me, so I usually put it as white. So there we are, that's the time, but we don't know whether it's AM or PM because it's a 12-hour clock. So that's the next code that we're going to do. This is the code that we use for AM and PM. So again, we just copy this and drag in a new shell. And then in the command, paste. So we'll need to change the font to one that we want, just mark felt 48 white, let's just say. So then there we are, that's the time that we'll want. Now what we can also do is we can also have the date and stuff show up, and these are fairly simple codes again. So if we copy the code and we can drag in a new shell, we can put it on the right if we want, and paste. I will just choose a quick font. Doesn't really matter, you can spend more time on it later. So there we are. Now as you can see, the time's changed. It's been more than a minute, but this hasn't changed much. It has now that we've clicked on it. But what we want to do is just refresh every section. We might want to put every 30 seconds. That means it will be updated more. Now PM, we want it to refresh, but we don't need it to refresh as much because it's not as often, so that longest time you can put in is 997 seconds, but we'll put in something like 500. So there we are. March, again, doesn't need to be as long, so I'd put in something like 999. You can do it as much as you like, but if you're having them refreshing quite often, then it will obviously make it so that your computer gets slower and stuff. Now it's easy to move these around and make them look like you want, and if bigger months, sometimes they don't fit in, but you can just click on these arrows. So the next script I'm going to be doing is going to be the day number, so as in the 28th. So that's another simple command. I could just copy, drag in a new shell. Sorry about that. And paste. Now the day number, again, it only happens once a day, so I'll do something like 800. Make it bigger and white. And then put it up, and then we are March 18th. Now, the chances are that you'll want the day of the week as well, just to make it look a bit nicer. So, if we copy and paste this again into our Geektool, we have the date and time. So this happens once a day. You don't need it that often, so 800, let's just say. When you do it, you'll probably spend more time getting the fonts you like. But this is just a basic tutorial at the moment. So we probably want white, and then there we are. Now that's not out in a very good way, but that just gives you a basic idea of what we can do. So that's the end of this tutorial. Next tutorial we'll be learning about the weather. It's quite complicated because you need to, well, not quite complicated, but more complicated because you need to get information from websites. And that'll be next tutorial. The tutorial after that's going to be an iTunes status, and we're also going to learn how to get the time machine update of the last 10 time machines that you do. So that's the tutorial for today. Hope you enjoy and just have fun experimenting. Please comment with any improvements if we've done something wrong, because this is our first video, so we may have. We can't change if you don't tell us. So thanks for watching again, guys. See you.